Hey, I'm Tyler.
I'm Alex.
We've been friends since kindergarten.
We were 2 out of 3 dudes in our entire class.
No, that didn't make us better at talking to girls.
But we've been close ever since. We grew up around the corner from each other.
Played the same sports, had the same friends.
Liked the same music.
Put it simply,
We're straight up homies.
When we got into our adult lives, we kind of went our separate ways to try new things.
Tyler moving to the beach to become a lifeguard.
Alex going away for college. Life has taken us in different directions and filled us with different experiences.
From reality TV.
To Alex climbing and jumping off the corporate ladder.
We've both done and seen a lot of weird and interesting things, but there's one thing we both experienced.
Self-doubt. We don't know what the we're doing.
We don't.
But we have some way, somehow made it to this point. And with us both going into the last year of our 20s, we figured it's time to get our shit together.
So, we decided to make a show.
We're going to talk some shit. We're going to get vulnerable. Who knows, we might even bring on some interesting guests.
And maybe we'll learn something.
Hopefully we can all get on the same wavelength.
That should be the name of the show.
That's a good name.
Yeah. Wait. You're vegan. Can you even eat marshmallows?
No.
All right. Welcome to episode 1 of The Wavelength. We are your hosts, Tyler Crispen, who you all know and love already from reality TV, and my name is Alex Kamenca, and he actually picked me up off the street.
Yep.
So,
just found him.
yeah, I was like homeless when I was 6 years old and in kindergarten. So,
Just needed a co-host.
Yep, exactly.
Yep. Okay, can I give you a proper intro?
Sure.
This is a humble man, ladies and gentlemen. This has been one of the best friends I'll ever have in my life since we were 5 years old. We've known each other since kindergarten, as he said. Entrepreneur, recently unemployed, or self-employed, I guess I should say.
That counts.
Sounds cooler. Alex Kamenca, everybody, I'm sure you're clapping at home listening. This is where an applause would come in nicely, right?
Yeah,
I stole your joke. You were going to say that.
we're not that cool yet. We're not that cool yet.
No, not yet. But hey, welcome to episode 1, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Tyler Crispen, as he said. If you're listening to this, chances are you might have seen me on Big Brother, you might have seen me on The Challenge, or you might have seen me at Interstate Lanes in Rossford, Ohio, you know?
Tyler was a super good bowler.
Super good.
Super
Still good. I'll take you right now.
Yeah, you always wanted him on your team in like
Yeah.
6th grade when you had those bowling tournaments. He was first pick and I was last pick. Yeah.
For whatever reason, I was the best at bowling, and I still haven't been good at anything since. So, but yeah, welcome to The Wavelength. We're starting a show. For what reason?
The hell of it.
For the hell of it. That's right. We don't exactly know what the show is going to be about. So you're going to be right here with us at the grassroots to discover those things.
Yeah, honestly, we want this show to just feel like you're hanging out with us and talking about life, our different experiences. Hopefully it relates to you. And we just want you to feel like you're here with us hanging out.
Exactly.
So we're excited.
Because we like to have good, deep conversations
We do.
on our own. And
We
we've
do.
always been really good at that. So we're like, you know what?
Yep,
Maybe these people would like to hear a little bit of that.
definitely.
But so bear with us if it's a little awkward at first, because we don't know what we're doing, as we said in the intro. But we're going to figure it out.
Yeah, we are.
I think this first episode, we're really just going to try to get into like our relationship and introduce us as friends, as a team.
Yep.
Because we're a team in this thing. Couldn't do this without you, honestly. So I'm stoked to be able to do this
Same.
with you, honestly. Like, this is so sick.
Wouldn't want to do it with anybody else.
Seriously, dude.
Yeah.
Seriously. The wavelength. We've always been on the same wavelength. And we'll even get into the story about how we even named this thing.
Yeah,
It was an accident.
it was an accident. So I was driving home to Ohio, actually to go to my grandpa's funeral, but I was on the phone with Tyler for 2 hours already. We were just going through topics and different stuff to talk about on the podcast and stuff like that. And we literally couldn't think of a name, but for probably the past like 4 years, we would be texting each other the same stuff, or honestly, even when we were thinking about making the podcast,
Yeah.
I sent Tyler a bunch of notes. At the same time, he sent me his notes and it matched up.
I'd be like, I already have that in my notes.
Yeah, but I would always send him wave emojis and meaning like same wavelength, whatever.
Yup.
And then that happened on the call where we said the same thing. And then,
That literally happened, what we just said in the intro. We
Yeah.
were like, wait a minute.
yeah,
The wavelength.
Tyler stopped me and was like, that's a
Good name. Let's go.
Yeah.
So welcome to the wavelength. 'Cause
Welcome
we've been
to
on the same wavelength. We want you to get on the same wavelength as us. Because
Exactly.
I feel like, not to toot our own horns, but I know we're only 29. But I feel like we both had some life experience
Yeah.
Good ways, bad ways.
A lot of life.
You know, we still got a lot ahead of us, though.
We're almost 30, dude.
We're almost 30. We're so old. Like, we have to wear these hats. You know what I mean? Because you'll see, our hair is receding. You know, we're getting up there. We are.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I feel like for our 20s, we've been pretty solid. And especially coming from such a small town like Rossford, you know, like not too many people, like, leave the city.
No.
You know what I mean?
So that's where our big friendship came from. And we've talked about this before. Is we were, like, two of the only people to leave.
Yeah.
Like, at least out of our close friend group. And there's nothing wrong with that.
We have a very close, like, knit group of friends. So it was tough to do that, too.
Yeah, it was. But I went away to college right after high school. Like, I left, and I was one of the only people who left. Everybody either went to Toledo or BG.
Right.
I went to Akron, right outside Cleveland. And honestly, just because it was a soccer school. I love soccer, and I was ready to...
Weren't you going to, like, try to walk onto the team?
Yeah. Well, that's a whole different story, because I didn't get recruited my whole senior year for college.
So you were a dog.
Yeah. Soccer was my sport, but...
He was a dog.
Yeah. I actually...
Every other game.
I signed into the Air National Guard, actually.
Mm-hmm.
And then our senior year... Yeah, that was senior year. Sectional championship game. We're, like, the best team ever. We had undefeated going into the championships.
We were nice.
And my lung collapses before the game even starts.
Crazy, dude.
And, well, I actually didn't know it collapsed. I played the whole game. Went to the hospital after because I couldn't breathe. And then they legally can't recruit you when you're in the Air National Guard. So I didn't have, like, recruits or anything like that my senior year to play soccer and go to college and play soccer.
And that was your whole plan, right? Like,
well, my whole plan was to go in that guard. It was just safer. Right. Yeah, it was safer.
And that was gonna, pay for your schooling and all that
stuff. And then,
man, soccer's like a spring sport, so that's right at the end of senior year. Or wait, no, it's a fall sport. So but right in the fall is when everyone decides what college you're going to.
Yep. But still, and then so in my 3 days after I got back from the hospital, my recruiter showed up at my door and was like, "You're out." Like, I was pulled out of the guard and everything, so I had no plan. But,
man,
yeah, walking onto Akron soccer would have been a task. I wanted to. I actually played on the club team and everything.
Yeah.
So it was cool.
I mean, you were nice with it. You could have made the team. Did you try out for the team?
Yeah.
You did?
Yeah. I made, like, club, and then I would practice with the practice squad, but then I broke my ankle twice in one season. So
dang,
that was about it.
Wasn't meant to be.
And that's okay.
I forgot about that whole National Guard thing. I feel like that right there just says a lot, because you pivoted, and you started doing your own thing. You were just going away for school.
Yeah.
Out of our whole friend group was just like a big step. And I kind of did the same thing when I went to, Hilton Head.
Yeah.
Because I only went to, Owens. I went to community college.
Yep.
The first semester, and then I was like, oh God. And I was working like 3 jobs. I was like, I got to get out of here.
Yeah,
and like, I'm tired of paying for myself, and then went there in the summers.
Yep.
But so that was cool. Nobody else was really doing that.
No, nobody else was.
Yeah.
And I don't know, life has a weird way of taking turns. And like, I remember when I got pulled out of the guard, I found when he came to my door, I didn't go to school the next day because I was like full panic. I'm like, what am I going to do?
Right.
I mean, neither of us came from money.
Right.
Like, I had no money for college. I had no trust fund or anything like that or anything. It was going to be all loans, and I'm like, I'm putting myself in all this debt.
Right.
But I did it anyways, and like, honestly, college was awesome. Like, I met some of the best friends I still have. I went to New Zealand, Haiti, like, got to experience so much stuff that I never would have if I was in the Guard. Because if I was in the Guard, I probably would have stayed in Toledo.
Yeah.
Because that's where the base was.
True.
So, I don't know, dude. Do you believe everything happens for a reason? It's a real question.
Sure. Yeah, why not? Yeah, of course.
I do.
It always feels like, I feel like, I don't know, though. I got dealt a lucky hand. That's the way I wake up every single day, I think. But I think everything happens for a reason. Even the downfalls.
You put yourself in certain situations to make stuff happen, but I do believe, like, when the bad things come up, like, I thought that was the end of the world.
Right.
Like, not playing soccer, not being in that game, and getting pulled out of the Guard and having to figure out going to college and stuff like that. I thought it was the end of the world, but almost everything that has happened in my life that I thought was bad, and then you look back on it and you're like, I'm so thankful that happened.
Like, that was the greatest.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy how that just keeps happening? And you're like, wait, damn, I'm
dude,
at the bottom again, and this is the end of the world, and nothing's going to happen, and then you get to the top and you look back. It's just a cycle.
Yep.
It's just a cycle.
It
The
happens
more
to me all
times
the
it
time.
happens,
Yeah.
the more you get confident within yourself, I think.
Yep.
That's why that's a lesson right there that I think we both have been able to learn.
Yeah.
That's why we have the same kind of mindset.
Yep.
I think, which is cool.
For sure.
Yeah. We're doing all right for end of 20s. I feel good.
Yeah.
Not like we've accomplished everything, but shoot. I mean, let's get into a little bit more about you, dude, because
Okay.
you just quit your 9 to 5.
Yeah.
Like, what is it, a month ago now?
Yep.
And we're just diving into this new project right away. I'm like, let's go.
Yeah, life is moving crazy right now.
Yeah.
But
I want y'all to know more about Alex. So you already know way too damn much about me. I'm not gonna lie. So
we'll get into you. We'll get into him. You don't know the real Tyler. You know reality TV Tyler.
It's
But
a wig.
he has been pretty real.
It's a wig.
Yeah, it's totally a wig. He won't admit he got a perm because his hair used to be wavy.
I did not get a perm. What do you think? I get a perm monthly?
No, I'm messing with you. But yeah, I mean, about me, like I don't even know
Newly
where to start.
self-employed.
Yeah, newly self-employed.
Let's start with that. That's exciting. That's happening right now.
Yep.
You're at the grassroots of your new future.
Yep. Out of college, I moved to Nashville right away without a job. Actually, I moved because my older brother lives here. But had to connect with a big staffing company up in Cleveland, and I interviewed here in Nashville, got the job, and I've been doing that for the past 7 years. So, kind of started off as a recruiting, and then went into sales. Had a successful sales career, which I'm super grateful for. But I don't know, just corporate America, dude. It just wasn't. I was gonna, if I stayed in that for the rest of my life, I kind of felt like stuck. Like I was just like, I'm going through the motions and
fulfilled with
I was not fulfilled at all. Like, I mean, I'm going through the motions and same thing every day, like go to the office, do this, do that. And it's like, there was just no fulfillment in it for me anymore. And the company was changing a little bit too, where it was kind of getting more like you're not really on a team anymore, which is what I loved. Like I loved the people. That was the best part.
Right. Yeah. You got a lot of great friends that you make.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Super thankful for that too. But I mean, again, everything happens for a reason. Like I could sit here and say I'd never want to be in corporate America anymore. But like if I didn't have that experience of being in it, I wouldn't have people that I love so much now.
Exactly.
And that's where a lot of my friends in Nashville came from. But yeah, I decided to start to make a move, started kind of like some investing stuff, and shout out Action Academy. I got joined that and started learning how to like underwrite deals. And I actually purchased 2 companies last week that I'm now the owner of.
Big moves, baby.
Yeah.
Let's go, Rossford, Ohio.
You're right. Yeah, which is just crazy to say, but it's cool. It's so much different doing stuff for yourself. And honestly, this is like, and that's cool for passive income and stuff like that. But like, this is like, I keep saying this is the passion project. Like, this is what I want to do. And like, dude, I mean it. Like, you're one of the realest best friends I've ever had.
Thanks.
So like, it's cool to do this with you.
It's sick, right?
Yeah, but taking on a whole new turn in life right now. So
there's a lot of new things.
Yeah.
A lot of new things.
Yeah. Brain's going in about a million different directions the past couple of weeks.
Yeah, he's got 2 phones now.
Yeah,
he's
2
got
phones.
2 phones.
Yeah.
One for the plug, Kevin Gates. Yeah, it's sick. I'm proud of you, man. It's awesome.
Thanks, dude.
It's just really cool.
Yeah.
It's just really cool to be able to do this, I feel like growing up, we always like, I don't know about you, but I feel like we always had that like aspiration to do something.
Yeah.
Do something different or do something, out there.
But that's what made us so similar.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like people didn't look at life that way.
Yeah.
Like,
sure.
Which is, and again, it's not for everybody.
Yeah.
Like, this stuff isn't for everybody.
No.
Being self-employed in general isn't for everybody. And that's
difficult.
okay.
Yeah, it's hard and it's okay.
It's okay. I mean, leaving my job, even though I was ready to go, like, it was so hard to, I mean, it was scary. Because you have that safety net. You have a safety net of income, and money is important. You can't just be totally free. Like, that's just how the world works. But yeah, it's scary.
Yeah,
so,
for sure.
But
it is. And I feel like even like just talking about Rossford, like there's really not that many people that have done it like that,
Yeah.
I guess we should take it back from the beginning.
Yeah, we should take it back.
You want to talk about how we first met?
Yeah.
First day of kindergarten.
Literally.
We walk in this room. I'll never forget it.
We were destined to be friends at this point.
Right. And even if we didn't want to be friends, we were going to be friends.
We had to.
Because we were literally the only, him, myself, and our boy Kevin, which we're still, that's the trio right there. Shout out Kev. Got a baby on the way.
Yep.
Love you, Kev. It was us 3 in a kindergarten class full of 20 girls.
Yeah.
I don't even know if I even saw a girl up until that day.
Yeah, probably had it.
We had to be friends, dude.
Yeah.
We had to be friends.
We had to be. We had no choice.
They sat us together.
Yeah.
You know, they were like, okay.
The funniest part is about that whole story, though, all kindergarten year, all three of us only liked the same girl. I remember you got so mad at me. There was like this rocket ship little tent that we had in the kindergarten room. I don't know why I have this memory, but probably because it scarred me because you were mad at me. Yeah, it was Brecken. But I got picked. We had like reading buddies, and you would go in this tent, which sounds super weird now, but like you would go in this tent with your reading buddy. It was just you two, and you would read a book together. Mm-hmm. And I got picked to go with Brecken, and you were so mad. You're mad at me for like a week. And I was like, I didn't even pick that.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
But then we went to the zoo for a little field trip, and I held her hand.
Yep. And then me and Kevin were shit talking Tyler the whole day. And that's when Kevin busted his ear.
Oh, yeah. Then Kevin was doing he was trying to make a scene so he could get her attention. They fell and hit his ear on the railing.
Yep.
His ear's still messed up. He got a crooked ear.
Well, because he didn't take his medicine, so it formed together.
Yeah. He got a messed up ear to this day because of Brecken.
Yeah.
Man, that's a cool name, by the way. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, since the beginning, man, and we were just destined to be friends. But we went to the same elementary school until you moved to a different one, what, 4th grade? 3rd grade?
3rd grade. Yep.
3rd grade.
Yep.
And then by the time 6th grade was here, Kevin and I had both also transferred to that school.
Well, that's when you moved right around the corner from me.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. That's right. And then we were both in the same neighborhood. So, like middle school, high school, we were just right there. We literally lived around the corner from each other.
Two right turns.
Yeah.
Less than a half a mile.
So we were doing everything together constantly.
Yeah.
We had our freaking first cars.
Yeah.
Had you station wagon whipping around there.
The station wagon wasn't bad. I had my first car was an 87 Chevy Celebrity. Rusted out. The ceiling was held up by wooden planks.
It was beautiful.
Just like the ceiling fabric. Yeah. It was so bad.
And this was the year, what, 2011 or 2010?
No, it would have been like 2015 we were sophomores.
No.
Wait. I'm thinking college. Yeah.
This is like
2010. Yeah.
So at 87, that's got some years on it at that point.
And my tire, the final breaking point for me on that car was my tire popped off when I drove into school one day.
Do you have a picture of that?
Somewhere.
Dude, you got to find a picture of that because
we'll crop that in here.
It's like even better looking than what maybe people can even imagine right now.
It was bad.
I remember a picture of like me and someone in the back seat and the like, you know, the little, they used to have a little cloth on the ceiling.
Yeah.
On the inside, I remember there's like staples and it's hanging down.
That's what I was saying. That was the wood. There was like sticks of wood just holding it up and it's just draping down.
I remember one time when we were going, like pulling into school, you kind of had to go this little hill and it was like kind of snowy.
That's when my tire. Oh, wait.
I think that's when your tire.
That's when my tire popped.
And I was pulling up behind you because you were on time and I was always late. Yeah. So I'm pulling up like 20 minutes late. And I just see you like sitting halfway up this hill crooked.
Yep.
It was called the T.O. because it was a celebrity.
Yep. Called Trello and
says Trello.
T.O.
Shout out to T.O. Man,
we've come a long way.
We've come a long way. He got himself a little Volkswagen now.
Yeah.
Baby. That thing nice.
Yep. We're not sponsored by VW.
Not yet.
That's Cross Sport is
nice.
I love that car.
It's a great car.
Yeah.
Great car. So we've come a long way. We've we've been through it. But there was a time where there was like 5 years there when we were adults that we kind of just like didn't really see each other too much.
Yeah. Well, you would visit me in college all the time.
Yeah.
You were like one of the ones that would come at least every year, if not twice, 3 times a year.
And I think you visited me at least my first 2 summers working in Hilton Head.
For sure.
Maybe 3.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my college experience was basically, because I went to community college, my college experience was like lifeguarding in the summer on the beach, pretty much. So which is sick.
Awesome.
That was the best job I'll ever have. I'll never
have a cool job. I'm going to take credit for this. I got Tyler his first lifeguard job.
True,
I started as a lifeguard at an indoor water park.
Yeah.
And then I got Tyler the job. So we had the same job all throughout high school together.
Splash Bay.
Yeah, Splash Bay.
You guys ever heard of the Holiday Inns that had a water park attached to them?
That was us.
Man, that was us. We used to run that place. That was the coolest place.
That was a cool job.
Except you like the chlorine in the air. You come out of there feeling like like your eyebrows are gone or something.
Yeah.
But I loved it. We met some of our coolest people working there. We had Julian.
Yeah.
Met Zach. I was just his best man at his wedding. This all started from Splash Bay.
Yeah.
So yeah,
dude.
you were a lifeguard before me.
I was.
And then that ended up being my only job.
Tyler ran with it, though. You ran with it.
That was my only job.
Yeah.
The only real job that I had.
That is your only real job. That's crazy.
Because I was a lifeguard there, lifeguard on the beach. Went on Big Brother right after that, and,
Yeah.
been unemployed ever since.
It's crazy.
Or self-employed, I guess. So
Good for you.
So thanks for that, dude.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Appreciate it.
Started the path.
Yeah, dude. But yeah, let's get back to that little 5 year. What were you doing them 5 years? That's also what this podcast is about, trying to catch ourselves up on that 5 years. We really just started kicking it again, late September 2022? Or not late September, like late 2022, I would say.
Yeah.
Something around that.
Yeah. Well...
Yeah, because I came to Nashville.
Right. And we didn't have like a fallout or anything. It was just like you were on Big Brother doing your thing. I was hustling in corporate America.
You're just doing different life things.
Yeah. I actually had
Australia for a year.
Yeah, you lived in Australia.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I had a long-term girlfriend that I lived with, and like it was just different lives.
Yeah.
But I mean, nothing really happened. We just didn't like talk for a minute.
Mm-hmm.
And then was it when...
Oh, no, I know. I remember the first time we FaceTimed after a long time. So, guys, just to give you a little character assessment of this guy right here, we're going to have to play the clip, too. We got to have to play the clip on this.
We can play the clip.
So there's a clip. We'll probably post it on our Instagram. But this guy is so selfless and so caring and such a good son. He has the coolest parents in the world, by the way. Shout out to
my
freaking parents. This guy, I love your parents, man. I love you. I love your parents. They're the coolest parents in the world. But this guy, what was your first car that you like?
First car I like actually bought. That wasn't a hand.
So it was like a new car,
Yep.
And so your dad had like I remember his old like beat up pickup truck that he was just driving everywhere, and you could hear that thing. Well, you could hear that thing on the other side of town.
So this was 2022. My dad was still driving a 2001 Mercury Sable station wagon.
Yeah. And just like grinding. He's a grinder too.
Yeah.
So he always was doing his thing for y'all.
Yep.
This guy pays off his first new car, and instead of like, being cool with it, taking it in for himself, gives it to his freaking dad. The coolest thing I've ever seen. Your dad cried on instant, like on impact.
I'm already tearing up thinking about it. But
dude, that was the coolest moment. Yeah. That's your character-defining moment. Right?
Yeah, that was like the best moment of my life.
Yeah.
Like being able to do that.
That was so awesome, dude.
Yeah. I mean, I remember in high school, dude, like, this wasn't high school. This was probably like 6th, 7th, and 8th grade.
Mm-hmm.
My dad was working 3 jobs. So first shift, second shift, third shift, sleeping 2 hours a night, and just working to like honestly save our house. He lost a job, and we had just moved when I was in 3rd grade. So this is 2-3 years later after that, and we were going to lose the house. So honestly, this goes back to me, you, and Kevin. Like, your dad and Kevin's dad were like my second dad.
Right.
Like, my dad wasn't able to be around that much.
3 dads, basically.
Yeah, literally. But like, Kevin's dad and your dad would take me to baseball games that my dad couldn't go to.
Right.
Like, your dad would drop you off sometimes and then take me to mine, and he would sit for mine for a game and then come back to yours the next game. And Joe, Kevin's dad, did the same thing.
Yeah,
like,
you're blessed with that for sure.
Yeah, I was for sure blessed, but I don't know.
That was awesome.
It's a weird scenario because during that time, I'm like, my dad's not around. Like, it was kind of just like I resented my dad for a period of time in my life, which I didn't know, obviously, at that time.
But now, like, thought it through.
Yeah, now I understand. Like, it makes complete sense. But
I'm sure a lot of people can relate to that with, like, really super hardworking parents.
For sure.
Like that,
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, honestly, dude, like, Rossford and just where we're from, like, it's kind of, there's not a ton of opportunities. Not Nashville, not Hilton Head and South Carolina or in general, but yeah, he was making it work. And like I said, dude, just being able to repay him for that was just by far the coolest thing. Yeah, ever.
It was awesome.
Yeah,
I felt like he felt it, that weight come off his shoulders so much in that moment too.
Yeah.
Is he still whipping that car around?
Still whipping the car.
Go.
Yeah,
that was awesome.
It literally had 85,000 less miles than his car had on it.
That's insane. That's a whole lifetime.
Yeah, that's a whole lifetime for a car.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So that was awesome, man. That was your character defining moment. But I think right after that, I was like, dang, I haven't talked to this dude in a while, and look at that. He's just like still the same old Alex, like heart of gold, So I'm like, then we FaceTime, and I think we like organized to hang out soon after that.
Yeah, you called me the next day, and then I think within a few months you were here.
I was in Nash.
Yeah.
That was awesome. So
Yeah.
that's how we rekindled things. Not that it wasn't kindled, but
Yeah.
we were just doing life.
But then once you came back, dude, like, and hung out in Nashville, what did we have? We were like, all right, no more. We're not skipping a month.
Yeah, no more of that.
Yeah.
And then it's just been consistent.
It's been pretty damn close
Yeah.
to at least seeing each other once a month since then.
I feel like that's how like friendships in your 20s go a lot of times, because like I guess as you get older, it gets a little bit harder to make like real friends.
For sure.
But like when you have the real ones, it's like you have to like learn how to make time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
But also, like, people have busy lives when you get older, dude. You got a lot more responsibility.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
Exactly. Yeah, so that's cool. That was cool, man. We're back. We're back better than ever. Now we're making a freaking podcast. This is sick. It's
cool.
so cool. I'm just like still gushing over the fact that we're doing this together.
Dude.
Because Lord knows I barely have anything to say usually. If y'all watch Big Brother, I was usually just sitting there twiddling my thumbs. Like,
But was that part of like the game, or did you just not know what to say? Because you were involved a lot, though.
I was involved.
Like, you were making the big moves, but then you would like sit back and kind of let stuff happen.
I wouldn't say I was making the big moves. I would say I just was in a position where a lot of information was always presented to me. And then I would just sit on that, be quiet. And usually it was because I was like, what do I do with that?
That's quite smart.
Yeah, I was like, I don't want to run my mouth. So like going on, I will never forget, like, we're getting into Big Brother talk now, but on Big Brother All-Stars, like, since everyone was so, like, everyone had that same mindset, like, everyone had played before, the very first night that we were sitting there, like, everyone was in the HOH room, like, we all just met.
Yeah.
And no one was saying a word. Like, I'm not even exaggerating. You could hear the cameraman in the back, and there's 16 people sitting in a room in a circle.
Just not talking?
Not talking. It was crazy. I was literally about to be like, I gotta get out of here. Like, this is terrifying. Like, no one wanted to be the loudest person in the room. Like, I guess that's Big Brother, because, like, at the beginning, anything can make you a target.
Yeah.
Because it's just like, okay, that person did a somersault. Wow, they want to be, like, the center of attention. Let's get them out of here.
Yeah.
Just for that reason alone. So
it's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. But that was wild.
So, like, at what point in your life, because, like, you were living the dream. I mean, dude, you loved being a lifeguard in Hilton Head.
That was the best thing.
Yeah.
Man.
Like, we would come visit you, and we would actually help you set up the umbrellas and chairs.
I'm like, if y'all gonna visit me, you gotta
we're
help
helping.
Because I'm tired.
7 a.m. Sticking umbrellas, digging holes. Yeah.
There was no better job than just putting up chairs and umbrellas on the beach every day.
Yeah. So you were living the dream. Like, what made you, like, what point in your life were you at that point where you're like, I'm going to try Big Brother?
I feel like I was a fan of the show for a while. Like, probably, I think I really started to get into it again when I was like 20.
Yeah.
I remember like sending in audition tapes and just being like, I don't know, this would be cool. I feel like I could do this.
Just went for it. Yeah.
Yeah. So I just went for it. And I don't know, there's a whole backstory that we'll get into later.
Yeah, we'll get into that.
About that. But yeah, it was just really a blessing to be able to, it's still surreal for me to even think about it. I sometimes like forget.
Yeah.
Because it was just such a like, I was like, wow, that's really what I want to do. And that would be awesome if I could do it. And then I did it. Yeah. And I did pretty good. So it was really cool. I think it just gave me a lot of like confidence.
Yeah.
You know? Everyone's like, oh, you should have won, whatever. Like, I feel like a lot of people maybe would be like super down on themselves.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I gave it everything I had. I got second place. Like, that's crazy. Like, that's awesome. It's still such like it was like a life-changing, like, character-defining time for me, because it really just told me that whatever I want to do, I can just accomplish it.
Yeah.
I just, put my mind to it, put my heart to it.
Yep.
That's really what it was. It was me putting my heart to it.
Yep.
Because then the second time I did it, I didn't have my heart in it at all, and I was terrible.
Yeah.
So that's what everything's about. That's the lessons I've learned in my 20s. Like, your heart's not in it, your head's not going to be in it.
Yep.
So that's how I kind of live.
Yeah.
Now.
Can't fake it.
No.
Can't fake a lot of stuff.
Cannot fake it.
Thought you could.
I know.
I've thought I could before too, and it just doesn't work.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Doesn't work.
No way.
Oh, that's a good question. I mean, just anything, like relationships. True. I mean, relationships are tough, and we don't have to. Relationships is a whole nother rabbit hole.
Oh yeah, that's a whole season.
Yeah, that's a whole season.
That's a whole season.
But like, I mean, I've been in relationships that like I should have probably gotten out of before. Multiple. You know most of the stories. But like, you try and like play along, even if because you're not sure. But my heart for sure wasn't in it, and then honestly, it just hurt me and the other person more in the end of it. Like, so you can't fake it as much as you want.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
as much as you want to. I mean, feelings are feelings. You gotta go all in on a lot of stuff. Yeah,
they come and go. I don't know, man. I feel like you understand this. I've always kind of led with my heart, maybe a little bit too much.
Yeah,
the same way.
I do the exact
we
same
be
thing.
feeling things.
Yeah, yeah.
We're those kind of dudes.
Yeah,
we're not like alpha males, I would say.
No,
we're more like
complete beta.
But we're not followers.
No,
at the same time, we're more like I'm gonna go live in the pack by myself, and then I'm gonna be friends with the pack over there. I'm gonna be friends with, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like we kind of just do things.
Yeah, which isn't I don't know. There's so many people that say that's a bad thing to do. Like, keep your circle small. But at the same time, dude, and I have my small circle for sure. Like, I have
quality over quantity.
Yeah, for sure. Quality over quantity. But like, at the same time, though, like, I love experiencing life and meeting new people.
Oh, it's
like, that's like my favorite thing in the world to do.
It's the best.
Yeah.
Dude.
Like, forming new connections and relationships. Like, I feel like that's what life is about.
Seriously.
Like,
exactly.
What
One
else
of my
is there?
favorite things has always been to make friends with somebody that is so completely different than you.
Yeah.
That's like one of my favorite things to do. Like, even just thinking back to like Big Brother, like JC, like him and I, he's crazy.
Yeah.
That dude, I'm like, what do we have in common?
Yeah.
But we ended up being like good friends, like Casey, we grew up on opposite sides of the country, like people like that, you know, just to give Big Brother examples. But I love doing that in real life. It's like, that's how you learn the most. That's how you grow the most.
Yeah.
Is by getting new perspectives from different types of people that have different backgrounds than you, and then introducing them into your background and sharing your story with them.
Yeah.
That's everything, man. I love doing that kind of stuff. It's just that's how you meet the coolest people.
Yep.
Speaking of that, we got to have some cool guests on here.
We do.
We got to find some cool guests. Y'all should tell us what kind of guests we should get.
Yeah, who you want to hear from?
Yeah, I know you're going to say Johnny Bananas. I'm sure he's got lots to say. Johnny Bananas is probably somewhere giggling that I'm making a podcast because he used to love saying how I was never saying anything on the challenge. He's like, Tyler doesn't say anything. Anytime I would say it, anytime I would butt into like an argument, I'd just be like, oh, yeah. And he would just like, why? He would call me out for it. So,
yeah.
Bananas, I made a podcast. What's up now? I got stuff to say. Okay.
That's funny.
Well, what else you want to get into about our relationship?
Yeah, honestly, I was going to say that, like, let's go back to us.
Mm-hmm.
Let's tell some crazy stories about just like stuff we've been through.
We've been through it.
What's, I guess, like, first thing that you think of when you think of like our friendship and like relationship or just like an experience, like out of anything?
Cedar Point. If you guys don't know about Cedar Point,
so
it's the one thing in Ohio.
It's the one.
It's the thing.
It is the one thing in Ohio that is
greatest.
Awesome.
It is the greatest amusement park on the planet. Pretty sure it has won those awards that says it's the greatest amusement park on the planet.
It better have.
It has world-class roller coasters. So many. It's an island.
Yeah.
It's just its own island in Sandusky, Ohio.
Yep.
Has no business being there. Its own island. It looks like it could be in the Bahamas. It just sticks out. It's a peninsula. And someone along the way in like the late 1800s was like, I'm going to build a roller coaster here. And then 100 years later, 120 years later.
Freaking huge.
Absolutely massive roller coaster. They got one that's 420 feet tall, right?
I think, yeah.
Or the dragster.
Yeah.
120 miles an hour. Dude.
In like 3 seconds?
In like 3 seconds. And we happened to grow up 45 minutes away from this place, which was a blessing and a curse.
Yeah.
Because now we go to amusement parks anywhere else, and we're like,
you can't. I won't pay for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I went to Six Flags in California, and everybody's like, oh, this is the best one here.
Yeah.
And I was like, I just paid $70 for that?
Like, y'all don't know.
Yeah, you didn't even know.
You ever heard of the Millennium Force?
Right.
Yeah.
And then
we would go once a week.
Yeah, so that's what I was about to say.
Yeah.
Tyler's dad was on disability.
He was on disability, yeah, because he had heart problems, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah. So we would, in the summer, when we didn't have school, we were there twice a week sometimes, 3 times a week. We'd just pack lunches and go. We would buy the season passes and just go there.
I think every Wednesday in the summer.
Yeah.
My dad would be like, oh, that sounds bad. He was on disability for heart issues. He would take us to his park. He wouldn't ride.
He wouldn't ride.
He just loved people watching.
Yep.
He loved this one specific snow cone stand.
It was the Top Thrill. It was a dragster.
He would get this massive snow cone and sit by the Top Thrill dragster launch and just watch people launch all day. And we'd just be around, bopping around. 12 years old, like getting lost and just doing our thing, riding a million roller coasters.
Yeah.
We would do that every week. That's my favorite memory. I still have Cedar Point sits in my heart. Like, it's got its own little region.
We still go.
Man.
We like go every year.
I try to go once a year.
Yeah.
Anytime I'm like make a new friend or like my girlfriend now, I'm like, yo,
we gotta go Cedar Point.
Like, you want to learn a little something about me? I'm taking you to Cedar Point.
Yep.
That's us, man.
Yeah.
When I think about our friendship, I think about Cedar Point.
Yeah, definitely.
You know?
I think about that and just like some of the funny shit we did, like sneaking out,
stupid.
sneaking out, running. We had a curfew in our town.
Yeah, because of us.
Was it because of us?
It must have been because.
I mean, maybe, but we had a curfew in our town. If you're under 18, you had to be in by like 11 p.m., which is just crazy. But we would just literally wait till 11 p.m.
Yeah.
Then we would leave the house, and sometimes we'd be barefoot. There's a barefoot story. But we would just be walking around the town. We would play a game to see who the first person to see a cop was and how far we could make it into downtown Rossford before we saw a cop and before they came after us.
Yeah.
And there was one freaking time.
The smartest idea.
There was one freaking time for some reason we all left your house barefoot.
Always was my house.
Walked to Kevin's, which was across town.
Like 8 of us.
Yeah, 8 of us.
Yeah.
And then we went to our elementary school. For some reason.
For no reason.
Like, they just had, like, woods and trails and stuff. We're like, let's just go mess around.
Hike tonight at 1 a.m.
Yeah. Well, Kevin, speaking of.
It's always Kevin, too.
Just ran out into the middle of the street and didn't look for a cop. There's a cop right there.
Right there.
We just jumped in the woods, all barefoot, got chased for 6 hours. And then ended up at a creek, crossed the creek, and then somehow made it back to your house.
Because this cop was right next to that main road.
Yeah.
And so the cop was driving back and forth, shining his spotlight in, trying to find it. He was like, if they flushed into the woods, they're gonna have to come out at some point.
Yeah.
So we're like, you know what? We're just gonna trek through these thick woods because he's expecting us to come out. So it took us
like literally 6 hours.
By the end of it, we're all like, some of us are split up. Everyone's all bloody. Like, people got no shoes on.
My feet were torn.
Oh, yeah. You were one of the shoeless
I was
ones.
shoeless.
I think it was you, Levi, and Carrie. Shout out to our boy, Carrie Keller, man. R.I.P. We miss you, dude. He passed away when we were like 16, but that's one of the greatest stories.
Yeah.
That's my favorite memory of Carrie.
That's my favorite memory of Carrie.
Yeah. That story reminds me of Carrie, man. That was such a good time. But yeah, we came back. I think we just jumped in my neighbor's pool or something because we had to rinse off.
Yeah. Pool hopping. And then my most recent one is the Hilton Head bar crawl, which some of you guys might have seen on Tyler's Instagram. Like, was that last year? Last summer?
I think I don't know. I think it was maybe late 2022.
Okay.
Maybe it was earlier. So there's this thing in Hilton Head that people do that I used to do when I was lifeguarding on an off day. It's called a beach bar crawl, and if you haven't heard of it, it's the greatest thing ever.
It was pretty much the greatest thing ever.
Yeah. I've never been able to accomplish it the way we accomplished it, but it was awesome. It was awesome. So what you do is get a bike, and if you don't know Hilton Head, the sand is nice and compact, so you can ride a bike there, right? Like up and down. And we decided, and what the beach bar crawl is, you hit every bar along the way, and you just grab one drink and keep it moving. One drink and keep it moving.
I don't think we stuck to the one drink after like the third bar, but we kept it moving.
Maybe that was our problem.
Yeah.
That might have been our problem.
Yeah.
But we were on a journey that day, and I think we hit it like 8
Was it like
spots.
6 miles?
It's about 6 miles, yeah. So it's kind of nice because like you just get one little drink at a nice little beach bar, ride down a mile or so, and you kind of like work it off.
Yeah.
By the time you get to the next one. So we were able to accomplish it.
Yeah. That was fun. And then we couldn't ride the bikes home because we were so...
we had to Uber home.
We were not okay.
Yeah.
So we chained the bikes up to wherever we were and then just Ubered home.
That was actually the last bar crawl I ever did. I think it'll probably be
that was probably the last bar crawl I ever did too.
Like, I want to retire on that one.
Yeah.
That was so fun. We went and made some good friends right after that too. Like that I'm still friends with to this day in Hilton Head.
Yeah, they're awesome.
So shout out to the dream team. Yeah, that was a fun day, man. That was one of our most recent like epic adventures. You had it on your Instagram story. Like,
I played music on every bike ride we had in the
That was so fun, dude.
Yeah, that was fun.
Not do that again, but that was so fun.
Yeah.
Don't recommend.
The only other one that I think of is the fireworks story.
Oh, the fireworks story.
I want you to tell the fireworks story.
Dude, I wrote a whole movie on this fireworks
Tyler has
story,
like low-key
I wrote a
movie
script on this just for fun, y'all. Maybe someday. So the fireworks story. Gosh, where do I even start? So what was it, the 4th of July?
Yeah.
Well, if we have to cut that last part, it was for legal reasons. But this has been fun, man. This has been fun. I feel like this podcast is going to be like a lot of us, a lot of stories about us, a lot of stories about Alex personally, his trials and tribulations, what he's got going on right now, what I've been through. Because, I mean, I feel like I told you this. I was like, I've been through a lot of things on Big Brother and like stuff like that, and I've done interviews and stuff like that, but there's a lot I haven't really talked about.
Yeah,
you know,
that's like why this is cool, especially for you, is because people are going to get to see a different side of you.
Yeah,
like you're not gonna, reality TV is reality TV,
right?
But like they cut a lot of stuff
it ain't
out where you get
all the time.
Yeah, you don't get to show your true self on there. So this is going to be cool for you to actually like have people see who the real you is.
And learn more about you, because you got all these stories too. You just haven't been on the freaking.
None of y'all even know me.
They about to though.
Yeah,
they about to.
But at the same time though, like this is kind of like a get to know us episode, just so like you kind of know our friendship and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But we want this, like we want to. I mean, if I make one person relate to something or even just laugh at us or smile for a day,
exactly,
listen to an episode, like that's all I care about for this stuff. So it's not always going to be about us either. Like we've got a ton of topics and we're going to give our perspective, and I don't even want to say perspective, just like our lessons on it, and we hope you guys relate. So we're super excited about this and hope you guys stay with us.
Stick with us as we're growing too, because you know, like I said in the intro, we don't know what the fuck we're doing. So we're going to figure it out.
We don't.
But it's fun, man. I feel like that's the biggest thing. I feel like everyone has more in common than they do different. So, like I said, if someone can relate to us, or
I also think people like sometimes it took me a while. I mean, just from communication perspective, like expressing my feelings, like saying how I feel, feeling confident in saying how I feel.
Exactly.
So. And a lot of people can't do that, and it's okay. Like, that's a normal human thing to do. It's extremely hard sometimes. So I hope by us just being vulnerable and saying our experiences and, what we think and just, letting it all out there, people relate to us.
Yeah.
So
I think they will, man. I think they will. And I think you are a good example of a solid human. I hope people can relate to you as well and learn more about you along this process, because like I said at the beginning, I couldn't do this with anybody else. I wouldn't do this with anybody else, Yeah.
And
I physically couldn't, because, me, I'm just all over the place sometimes. So you're able to reel me in. It's those corporate skills, too. You keep me organized. You got me on Miro, You got me on these organizing apps and everything. I'm like, dude, I don't know what this
corporate
is.
America's good for some stuff,
It is, man. I'm starting to learn.
Helps you a little bit.
It does.
But no, we're super excited about this. So
super excited, super stoked.
Yeah. On the next episode of the Wavelength, all you reality TV people and that have watched Tyler or love Tyler, this is your episode, because I'm going to be interviewing Tyler and getting some of the secrets that you probably want the answer to. And we can do this again if you ever want to send us some questions. We'll dive in for the ones that are appropriate.
Because we're going to get some unappropriate.
Yeah, we're not going to get it.
We should do a whole episode on just my crazy DMs.
That could be a whole episode.
I'll say some wild stuff sometimes.
Yeah. But it'll be fun, so see you next week.
Yeah. Hey, episode 1.
Episode 1.
We did it.
Done. Love you.
Look at us. Love you. That's a wrap.
I'm finally on my way to all my better days. Don't care what people say, I make the world my stage. Life is a beach, I hit the ocean trying to catch a wave.